Hello everyone, this is Yoko. In this channel, I'll be sharing information in English about events happening in China that might not be reaching other countries. I've gathered information from multiple sources, so I would appreciate your comments on the video content. Since English is not my native language, I use an AI speaker to create the audio to ensure accurate information delivery. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel and showing your support. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of China. There's a spotlight on China's real estate industry, particularly regarding the recent default on foreign currency denominated debts. By the way, Country Garden is currently the largest company in China's real estate industry, often considered the flagship of China's real estate sector. This information is crucial because it sheds light on the challenges facing China's real estate sector. China's real estate industry has long been considered risky, and despite increasing evidence of financial difficulties, some still hold on to the belief that there might be a chance of recovery. However, a closer look at the actual events in China reveals that the situation is far from optimistic. The real estate industry in China is facing serious challenges. Now, let's take a closer look at a specific case, Country Garden's development project in Guangdong Province. This property is currently under construction, and as you may already know, it's common in China for developers to sell apartments before they are completed. The underlying idea of this approach is that if buyers purchase the property before the completion of the building, they can save on the interest payments they would otherwise have to make if they borrowed money from the bank after the completion. In other words, developers offer discounted prices to buyers who commit to purchasing the property before it is finished. This arrangement benefits both parties, as buyers get a lower price, and developers secure funds without incurring as much interest. However, this practice has led to significant problems. In the case of the property in Guangdong Province that we are discussing, some buyers who purchased units before completion have become concerned about the quality of the construction as the project progresses. To inspect the quality of the concrete used, one owner attempted to shave off a layer using a metallic tool. The ease with which the concrete was shaved off raised serious concerns about the safety and quality of the property. It appears that unconventional and potentially hazardous construction methods, such as using metal wires to create a mesh and then applying concrete over it, were employed. This situation highlights the challenges and risks associated with China's real estate industry. While I don't have expertise in construction, the construction methods employed in this case seem alarming and amateurish, especially for a large-scale project. There's a worry that the floor might collapse just by putting something a little heavy on it, given the concerns about the construction quality. Focusing only on the appearance and not paying enough attention to the actual completion is a cause for concern. The problem here is that, despite collecting money, the condominiums are not being completed, and this has a significant impact. While this might be common in China, the fact that properties are not completed despite collecting funds is problematic. When the central government sets a policy, it is the responsibility of the local government to implement it. At that time, the local government needs to follow the central government's instructions properly. For example, if they've already signed a contract, they are being told to complete and hand over the property according to the agreement, as creating a track record of handovers enhances the political evaluation of the officials in charge. However, it seems that they didn't anticipate things going so wrong. In China, there have been long-standing issues in the real estate sector, especially regarding the quality of construction. Many people may report these issues to the supervisory authorities, but in most cases, it goes unnoticed. That's why many strange buildings are constructed. However, in this case, it seems that the supervisory authorities were notified, and they came to inspect, ordering the proper completion of the construction work. Cutting corners has its limits, especially when there are safety issues involved. If information emerges that many dangerous structures have been completed and handed over to those who paid for the real estate, there is a possibility of a serious accident occurring later on. By the way, when we used that small metal tool earlier to cut, and a hole was made in the concrete, if any experts are watching, I would like to know why such a thing happens. Is there a problem with the quality of the concrete, the amount of water used in making the concrete, or is there another cause? It's a bit unclear to me. If something supposedly made of concrete becomes so brittle, and if the entire building is made of concrete like that, it's not just a problem with the floor, the whole building becomes extremely fragile. This could become a significant issue in China's society in the near future. Ultimately, if many unsafe buildings are erected, living in them could become dangerous. In the end, there might be a need to repair or rebuild these buildings. From what I see, it doesn't seem like they would last long. Buildings made of concrete where a hole is easily made by just cutting a little could be a serious concern, especially for tall buildings like skyscrapers. If it's discovered that the entire building is made like that, the authorities in China would probably not allow it to remain as it is. Moreover, with the current development of social media, if Chinese individuals notice such issues, it's not uncommon for them to capture and share it on social media. Once information spreads, completely concealing it becomes challenging. In the case at hand, it's unfavorable information for the local government. The reason they might not want to acknowledge it is related to China's construction oversight authorities. These authorities are responsible for granting permits and conducting inspections in the construction process. If such risky buildings are being constructed, it implies that the oversight authorities are not properly inspecting them. Therefore, construction companies and local governments, in a way, form an alliance to keep unfavorable information from being exposed. In this case, it became impossible to conceal the information, possibly because the images were so obviously problematic even to amateurs. Additionally, the swift spread of information and the attempt to conceal it might be limited to the local government of this region, rather than the entire Communist Party. Communist Party members also live in certain apartments, and it would be problematic if dangerous buildings proliferated unnoticed. Those who benefit from concealing such information are those within the Communist Party who are colluding with construction companies. Not everyone in the Communist Party wants to keep things hidden, so when a scandal emerges in a specific region, it becomes a matter of questioning what those individuals are doing. Now, going back to what was mentioned at the beginning, Country Garden is currently the top developer in China. If even properties developed by such a company have these issues, it likely represents just the tip of the iceberg. Many other Chinese real estate development companies, smaller in scale and facing financial difficulties, may be cutting corners and minimizing costs as much as possible. In such cases, the resulting buildings not only lack asset value but might pose a negative value. If, in the future, it turns out that these buildings are not only delivered to buyers but are also dangerous, the problem transforms into a situation where residents can't live in them due to safety concerns. Even before a building collapses, if residents realize the danger, lives could be saved. However, living in high-rise buildings with potential dangers is a critical issue, and it might not be resolved solely as a financial matter. In summary, the reality of the real estate industry in China is quite concerning, and even if properties are technically completed, their evaluation as sound assets raises significant doubts. This concludes our discussion for now. Until next time.